Hi everyone, my name is Matilde Macedo and today I'm doing a country tour on Mexico. The 5 closest neighbors are the US up north, and farther south we have Guatemala, and right next to it we have Belize, and on the east coast we have Cuba, and some Cayman Islands are close to Mexico. A political relevant site will be Palacio Legislativo de San Lázaro. This is the main seat of legislative power. It's a permanent meeting place for the Chamber of Deputies. It is also used as a congressional headquarters. There are 500 members elected in the parallel voting system in the Chamber of Deputies. Out of these, 200 major deputies are elected through federal electoral districts. Deputies can only serve 3 years. Next, we have the Palacio Nacional, located in Mexico City. It is the federal executive seat. This was the precise place where Montezuma had its palace named Xocoyotzin. Unfortunately, his palace was destroyed during the Conquista period by Hernán Cortés, where he built another palace of his own. In 1824, the Mexican Constitution was signed there, and the palace was adopted under the name Palacio Nacional. The palace is famous for El Grito de Dolores celebration, done by the president and other events such as military parades. Next, we have Castillo de Chapultepec. This is the castle in the hill of Chapultepec. The castle was built in the year 1785 by Spanish King Fernando de Galvez. By the year of 1847, the castle was used as a military school. In that same year, a war against the U.S. was being held there, where it gave fame to 6 brave Mexican soldiers known as Niños Héroes. These were very young soldiers that gave their life to the fight against American military, and every year on September 13, the Mexican people pay tribute to these soldiers for their bravery. Next, we have Pirámides de Teotihuacan, which translates to Pyramid of the Sun. The pyramid was built between the 1st and 7th century, and it was placed for the largest ancient city in the Americas. It was known to hold 25,000 inhabitants in ancient times. It is considered one of the most powerful cultural centers in Mesoamerica for its artistic influence. Teotihuacan is considered a model of urbanization and large-scale planning, which greatly influenced the concept of contemporary and subsequent cultures. And next we have Parroquia Nuestra Señora de Dolores. This is a Roman Catholic church in Dolores Hidalgo, Guanajuato. In September 16, 1810, a Catholic priest named Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla made the first call for independence. This event became famously known as El Grito de Dolores, or the Cry of Dolores. Hidalgo rang the bells from the church to gather civilians and gave the famous speech to encourage them to fight for independence. He rose an army to fight against the Spanish rule, and Mexico now celebrates this day as the Day of Independence. Mexico overall population is 127,575,529 people in 2019, making it the 10th most populous country in the world. The Human Development Index since 2018 in Mexico is 0.767. It is ranked at 76. Life expectancy at birth in 2018 is 75 years. Expected years of school on average is 14.3, and the mean years of school on average is 8.6. The gross national income per capita is $70,628. The gross domestic product, GDP, is about 1.22 trillion in 2018. A brief summary of Mexico contemporary political history. Before reaching the 1900s, Porfirio Díaz ruled Mexico, and under his dictatorship, Mexico went under tremendous commercial economic development which were based on foreign investment. Many upper-class men benefited from this economy, but the poor majority suffered under his regime. This led to a revolution led by Francisco Madero against Díaz, promising democracy, federalism, agrarian rights, and workers' rights. Diaz's dictatorship ended in 1911 and Madero was elected president. In the next decade, popular leaders such as Emiliano Zapata and Pancho Villa arose with discontent against Madero's presidency. By 1913, Madero was killed and dictator Victoriano Huerta took over. Now conflicts arise and Huerta was forced to resign by 1914. Venustiano Carranza took power but later struggled to hold power by the U.S. invasion. During World War I, Carranza created a new liberal Mexican constitution. This created violent reaction and General Álvaro Obregón took power, and under his regime more agrarian reforms and educational reform was built, enabling the Mexican Cultural Revolution. Obregón was later killed by 1928, and in 1934 Lázaro Cárdenas was elected president, initiating another set of reforms. In 1938, Cárdenas nationalized his country's oil industry, expropriating their extensive properties of foreign-owned companies and creating government agencies to administer the oil industry. In 1940, elected President Manuel Ávila made friendlier relationship with the U.S. by joining the World War II. Mexican pilots fought alongside with the U.S. Air Forces against the Japanese forces. In 1945, Mexico joins the newly created United Nations. And in post-World War II years, Mexico underwent industrial and economic growth. By 1946, the ruling government was named Partido Revolucionario Institucional (PRI), which dominated for 50 years. In 1968, the Olympic Games was being held in Mexico City, and many students protesters took advantage of this opportunity to draw international attention of their fight against social injustices and democratic injustices. Mexican military opened fire and killed 100 people. The discovery of the huge oil reserves in 1976 made the establishment of the largest oil company in the world. The government borrowed a large amount of foreign money with high interest rates with the promise of oil money for industrial expansion. However, the oil was generated at low grade, leaving Mexico with the largest foreign debt. By mid-1980s, Mexico was in a financial crisis. In 1992, President Carlos Salinas signs the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, which went into effect in 1984, facilitating the trade among U.S., Canada, and Mexico. In 1984, Mexico faced a bankruptcy caused by the devaluation of the Mexican peso. To stabilize the currency, the U.S. borrowed $20 billion. In 1997, the leftist party Partido Revolucionario Democrático, PRD, won elections to candidate Cuauhtémoc Cárdenas. In the year 2000, Vicente Fox wins presidency with opposing party Partido de Acción Nacional, PAN, and Fox focused on providing trade relations with the U.S., reducing corruption, crime, and drug trafficking. In 2006, Felipe Calderón won presidency with PAN political party, which focused on reducing poverty and social injustice. In 2012, Enrique Peña Nieto wins presidency with PRI political party. The current president of Mexico is Andrés Manuel López Obrador, and he was elected on July 1, 2018, taking office on December 1st. His presidential term is expected to end on the year of 2024, serving 6 years of presidency. Mexico is a federal republic composed of 31 states and the federal district. Governmental powers are divided constitutionally between executive, legislative, and judicial branches. The judicial branch is divided into upper house, the Senate, and the lower house, the Chamber of Deputies. So what party holds the legislative majority and what is their basic platform? Currently, there are 9 political parties being represented in Congress. As of 2018 elections in the Chamber of Deputies, 62% of the seats are represented by Morena, Partido Encuentro Social, and Partido del Trabajo, which are the majority. 54% of the Senate seats are also represented by these political parties. Morena focuses mainly on the fight against corruption and governing structures. PT, Partido del Trabajo, focus on making sure workers aren't exploited and seeks for labor benefits. Partido Encuentro Social is a conservative national party that supports anti-abortion policies and opposes same-sex marriage. So what is the gender composition of the national legislature? The Gender Inequality Index of 2018 is 0.334 with a rank of 74. In 2018 election, it was reported that 48.6% of the seats were women and 51.2% of the seats were men in the Chamber of Deputies. In the Senate, 50.78% were women and 49.22% were men, making it a very balanced parliament.